stream. Welcome. We are going to be playing Agricola once again. We've actually got 2 streams, so if you're watching this live, if you want the trash talkie version, go to the great Zagini. He's the one who is going to be having everybody's audio active all the time. What I'm going to do on my stream is I'm going to be talking a little more openly about the strategy of the game and sort of what I'm thinking. So we'll pause every harvest and I'll kind of patch everybody back in and we can talk about what's going on. So first, though, introduce yourselves, guys. Shadow, you're player 1.
I am player 1.
Say
You guys, what's up?
Say hello.
Hello. Some of you guys know me from the Magic stream that Randy and I do. Otherwise, I'm known as OK at this Agricola game.
Yeah, okay meaning he's the reigning world champion. No big deal. All right, I am in the 2 seat. You can see that across the top and down the bottom. John Corrado, who won this event at EuroQuest last fall, now complete with webcam and microphone. How you doing?
Randy, people who won things, how do you get their info? Sorry, last thing.
I think I have it in email. I mean, I have everybody's email address who won in the Gauntlet of Greatness that we just finished streaming. I have everybody's contact info in email. I will sort that out and get that over to Card Kingdom. So you'll be contacted via email. I've still got all the places where people sent the decks in. Hi, John.
Hi. How's it going?
Wow, that was a little loud.
Sorry.
And meanwhile, Nick Page. How you doing, Nick?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, so we're basically ready to play, right? It looks like only Shadow has to take the last card and then the draft is over. We went ahead and did the draft off stream, just so it's a little hard to make accessible. All right, let me just send a tweet that says board game stream firing up right now.
All right, I'm certainly ready to take Reedstone food whenever we're ready to start.
Reedstone food?
Always. Always and forever, my friend. Oh, so by the way, Randy.
Yeah.
I went back and watched your stream of this last time.
Yeah.
And every time you made a play mistake, I felt it. And at some point, I'm going to talk to you about all the little different things that I think you did that were wrong.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
That's
we'll
good content. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So how's this going to work? If I'm going to mute you guys. So I can mute my microphone and mute your volume? How do I do all of that? All right. Can you guys talk and see if it still comes through?
Sure.
What's
going on, Randy?
Robble.
Yeah. So I can mute my mic to you guys, but I guess I have to also mute Skype in my volume mixer.
Yeah, in volume mixer, just mute Skype.
All right, I can do that. And then Nick, you're streaming?
Sure am.
Cool. So people can go over there. All right, now talk and make sure there's nobody. I can't hear you. Awesome. Okay, yeah, you're off in the volume mixer. Good luck, guys. Feel free to start, Shadow. All right, here we go. So Shadow took Reedstone food, which is often the right play in the first game of Agricola. If you haven't seen Agricola before, it's an action drafter. I have 2 people. You can see these red discs here. Those represent, essentially, it's me and my wife. Eventually, we're going to have kids. We're going to put them to work. And every time it's my turn, I can take an action. So at the beginning of the game, Reedstone food is very good. Playing an occupation is good because I have this hand of cards. I have 7 minor improvements, and I have 7 occupations. Now, the occupations that I got, like the stonecutter, is really good at making things that cost stone cheaper, but not as useful at the very beginning of the game. Similarly, I could play constable and get a bunch of wood. The other thing that happens at the beginning of the game is you really want to build a room so that you have room to grow your family. I need to come up with 5 wood and 2 reed so that I can grow my family once the family growth square comes out. That's just a huge thing to be able to do. Like, everybody's going to need to grow their family at the beginning of the game. Of course, having this reed pond makes me even more tempted. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop constable. It's going to become a focus of what's going on in the game, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So the constable says, you get wood right away. So it's kind of this, it's a fairly complicated card, but it says if you play him at the beginning of the game, you get 4 wood. You can see up here, I now have 4 wood on my tableau. But at the end of the game, any player who has no negative points gets 5 bonus points. So there's now this sort of mini goal. Everybody wants to just get at least one of all the different ways to score points. 3 kinds of animals, veggies and grain, all the fields and fences. So everyone's now going to want to fill up their entire farm, make sure they don't have any negatives, and that they can get this 5-point constable bonus. I think that's the plan. So those guys took their turns pretty quick. You see that John played an occupation. Oh, charcoal burner's a great one. Nick took 3 wood. Shadow took 2 clay, which allows him to build a fireplace. I can take 2 wood. I could also plow or take a grain. 2 wood is pretty good, especially because it gives me the 6 wood that I need for that first room. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to take 2 wood. And now we find out whether John or Nick is going to steal the start player marker. So right now, Shadow is the start player, but whoever takes the start player marker is actually, that's how it moves. It doesn't move automatically. It only moves. Is John Corrado the guy that has always been playing Scape Shift on Magic Online? No, John is not actually a Magic player. I know him from the board game tournaments that I fly to back east. Met him at the World Board Gaming Championships. I also go to this one called EuroQuest pretty regularly. So it looks like... What did John do? Oh, John took a grain. And now it's on Nick. So we're either going second or third. Second would be nice. We'll get either the 2 reed square or the reedstone food square. It kind of gives us the house parts that we need. I also feel like I kind of want to build up Stonehouse Extension into Mansion. Would be super sweet if we can pull it off. And Stonecutter should make it easier to pull off. I've also got this Field Warden in my hand, which allows me to take vegetables and to plow fields, even if somebody else is on those squares. So that's going to make it really easy for me to fill up my farm. All right, Nick took the start player marker, and he dropped a horse. Uses up one of the animal spots. Wow. So then the 2 reed went and the reedstone food went. That is all very annoying. No reed for us. I think I'm going to play the stone. Go ahead and play the stone cutter. Because if I can get up to 3 occupations, I can play the reed pond, and then I can get reed that way. And I know that my long-term plan wants me to have the stonecutter as well, so there you go. I'll go into the ox that I'm holding. I'm holding... It refreshes every time one of them takes a turn. So my miners, I have clogs, which for 1 wood would give me bonus points. It's probably a miner that I'm going to play, because it only costs 1 wood, and I'm either going to get 1 or 2 bonus out of it, because I'm going to be renovating to at least clay, and my big plan is to renovate to stone. So this is kind of 1 wood for eventually 2 victory points, probably. I have the market stall, which costs a vegetable. It costs a grain, but when I play it, I get a vegetable. So it essentially turns a grain into a vegetable. Might come up, especially if I'm able to sow some grain. I have the reed pond, which, like I said, this is where I'm going to get reed once I'm able to play a 3rd occupation. The writing desk, I got this late. You can build a nice engine around the writing desk where you start taking occupations, and that lets you get lots of extra occupations into play. My handful of occupations is not that amazing. I'm probably going to stop at about 3, so I don't expect to play that. Stonehouse Extension is nice in that after I have a stone house, I can get a new room very cheaply, which could allow me to expand my family. So that's probably part of the plan, especially since the stone cutter gives me a discount. Shepherd's Crook is neat. If I fence a pasture that covers at least 4 farmyard spaces, I get 2 sheep for free. If the tempo works out right, that's kind of powerful. And the big thing that I have is I have the mansion. So normally stone rooms are worth 2 points each, but if I play the mansion, now they're worth 4 points each. So if I can have, a 4-room stone house, suddenly that's like 16 points. It's a lot of points potential here in the mansion. Now, it is expensive, but it's a lot of points. In terms of my occupations, what I have left is the animal trainer that says if I go to traveling players, I can use that food to buy animals. Rarely does that work out well, I find. I don't expect to play him. The sheep whisperer puts up to 4 sheep on future rounds. I would get them. Can be a good use of can be a good way to feed your people if you have a fireplace that you can use to eat the sheep. Basket maker lets you eat reed for food, so I can convert my reed into 3 food each. That's decent. If I had extra reed, right now I'm struggling to get reed, so I don't think I'm going to wind up playing this guy. Field warden lets me take both plow and especially plow and sow, even if somebody else has already taken that action. So I'm excited about this guy. And then fisherman will let me double the amount of food on the fishing square. I don't have any other combos with the fishing square, so I don't think I'm going that way. But, I mean, that's what I'm working with. And then stonecutter makes improvements rooms and renos cost 1 stone less. Constable we talked about. There's now this bonus looming out there for everybody. All right, so where are we? Shadow took some wood in addition to that reedstone food. John has taken wood once. Nick took the other ox square. I was kind of hoping I might be able to get my 3rd occupation down here. That did not happen. I could go first, but I wish I had that 3rd occupation square. I could plow a field for later. I could get a grain for later. Do I want to play any of these miners? Like, I could play the writing desk and essentially get a victory point. I could play the clogs. Man, none of this does anything. I could just take 2 food. No, that doesn't sound right. I think that because there's a constable in play, just the ability to get one of everything means there's some value in taking grain. And if I get super desperate, I can actually eat it. So I'm just going to take a stupid grain. Yeah, none of the squares, all the squares I wanted are gone. But I mean, I'm going 3rd, right? What do you expect? The website that we're playing this game on is boitejeu.net. It's pretty good. It's mostly designed to play async, but I mean, if everybody's logged in at the same time, you just can all play at the same time. Yeah, so we're all just logged into the same website. And now John has to decide what he wants to do. I mean, 2 wood is reasonable. If I didn't already have 6, I would have been tempted by that. 2 clay is not crazy as a way to kind of fight Shadow for the first fireplace. I could have taken 2 clay and gone for the first fireplace. That wouldn't be crazy. All right, John decided he wanted to go first, and then he took 4 clay. So what miner did he play? Oh, reed exchange. So he paid 2 wood to get 2 reed, and then used his first player action to draft 4 clay. Nick took reedstone food. And Shadow took ox. So this is all very annoying. This occupation square costs me 2 food because it'll be the 3rd ock I have in play. And I'm a little pinched for food here. I only have 2 left. And there's a harvest coming up. The big tension in Agricola is that every time you hit one of these harvests, you have to feed your people. And your people need 2 food each. For every food that you are short, you get a begging card, which is -3 victory points. So it's basically a catastrophe. Like level 0 strategy in Agricola, just make sure you're going to feed your people. And I haven't really done anything resembling a food engine. I mean, I guess in theory I could play basket maker and then into reed pond and eat my reed. It's not the most exciting. I do have a grain, and this stone cutter means I could go get an oven, right? I can actually build the brick oven and convert that grain into 5 food without bothering to get any stone because I have the stone cutter. It may actually be the way to feed here. All right, I can take this 3 clay and then I can go get an oven. I can also just take 3 food. Man, I feel like I'm just going to take the 3 food. Yeah, those of you watching the stream, I'm definitely curious, if do you like this sort of one player monologue going through what they're thinking about and how that works? Do you prefer the sort of 3 players sitting around the table hanging out, trash talking each other? Looks like Valence in particular thinks you got to choose one audio. That makes sense. John took a couple wood. Nick took the 3 clay. So that plan's not working anytime soon. I'm going to have to wait for another clay square to build up. Now, if Shadow doesn't take start player, I can take start player and first pick the 2 reed I need for my room, which is not crazy. Shadow took start player. He's also a big enough fan of Reedstone food that he might just first pick it. Okay, he played an outhouse as his minor occupation. When you take start player, you get to play a minor. So, am I just taking 3 wood because it's here? I mean, Shadow will happily first pick 3 wood. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to take 3 wood so that he can't. And then I'm either going to get the 2 reed I want or Reedstone food, or I can just play an Ock so that I can set up my reed pond. I can't give him 6 wood here. It's just way too good for him. And 3 wood is a totally reasonable last pick. Even though I have 9, it actually sets me up to potentially build stables. It's building up toward... I'm going to want to build a lot of fences so that I can hit my constable eventually. I think that's right. So, now it's almost harvest time. Shadow gets 4 wood if he wants it. Wow. He does not want the 4 wood. He takes Reedstone food. Well, I don't need 4 wood. I've got a giant pile of wood. I need 2 reeds so that I have house parts. I think I'm actually the only one who can build a room this turn. Now, we know that family growth is either going to come up in round 5, round 6, or round 7. We know one of these 3 actions is going to be family growth and a minor. We don't know which one, though. It's random. We know one of these is going to be a stone square. We know one of them is going to be renovation. We know one of them is going to be family growth. Now, if family growth is in round 5, that's going to be pretty good for me because I'm the only one who has 5 wood and 2 reed. I'm the only one who can actually build a room now and thus be in position to get the first baby. Getting the first baby is awesome. I mean, it is definitely a significant advantage if you can pull it off. God, it's so hard to get stone through Shadow. He's in love with this Reedstone food square down here. John took the 4 food, which Shadow has this street musician, which means he got a free grain because John took traveling players. But I mean, 4 foods, good action for John. Effectively, Shadow spent an action on that occupation, and in exchange, he got traveling players. Interesting. If nobody can build a baby with their second action, build a room with their second action, then I could consider taking something else. Like the 3rd Ock that I want to get down before I play a minor. Yeah, people looking at sort of points in the game where to keep track of how you're doing. I mean, look, the beginning of the game, the two things going on are you want to set up a food engine, which I haven't done, which is bad, and you want to get parts to make a room so that you can grow your family, which is the thing that I have done. All right, Nick took the 4 wood. Shadow bought what? A fireplace? Oh, he bought the well. That's what he's using all his stone for. Sure. The well's awesome because it's 4 victory points and it puts food out on the next 5 rounds. So 3 stone and a wood for 4 points and 5 food is just a good deal. So I could take 3 wood. That's not the right play. I could build a room and possibly stables. I could play an occupation for 1 food. I think I'm just going to go ahead and build my room. My first being able, not, if I don't build a room now, then if should family growth flip, I'm going to be forced to build a room then. And I don't really want to get in that race. Oh, also Nick can build with his second action, so it would be terrible. Now the question is, do I want to build stables? The nice thing about stables is that they hold animals. And they cover up, they use spaces. So I think because I can build 2 of them, which is enough for a breeding pair, and because the constable makes me really just want to grab animals and not have negatives, I think I am going to go ahead and build 2 stables. All right, and then we talked about checking in with everybody at every harvest, so I'm going to unmute these guys and check in with them.
Spit roast. Card's good.
Hey, guys.
Hey!
Checking in with you. It is almost harvest time. So I figure we'll check in and people can talk about how things are going and how much more fun you're having than I am.
I day laborer.
All right. So, all right. I'm gonna do my quick run through of everyone's position.
Okay.
I'm certainly just feeding with food.
Sure.
So as always, I like my position. I came out of that with a well. The outhouse was just kind of for bonus. I have no way of getting a room anytime soon. John's going to start next round with 6 wood, so John's in a pretty nice spot. John played the charcoal burner. No one has gotten themselves a fireplace, but a lot of people are kind of sitting around with the potential to build ovens and fireplaces. So
yeah, but the fact that nobody took the 3 wood, John took start player, which means that when this square gets restocked with 3 wood, he'll be able to first pick 6 wood, which is kind of awesome.
Right, so he'll start with 6 wood. Depending on what comes out, Nick might just start by shoving and building a room. You have built 2 stables, which is really useful because no one has a fireplace yet, so you should be able to pick up 2 sheep fairly easily. And as I say, a breeding pair is just amazing, right? So a breeding pair is going to be 2 food per harvest for the rest of the game. That's pretty solid. So I like the way that you're set up. Normally, first person to build a room doesn't have a good food engine, but you are set up to be able to kind of go in that direction. You also played Constable, so this game is going to be slightly more interesting than others because we all have to kind of max out everything, or at least we should be working towards it.
Yep.
Which reminds me, because Nick played Horse. Horse doesn't actually work towards the Constable bonus. He actually has to get all 3 different animal types. So if he's going to work towards Constable, he does have to get all 3 animal types. So I like John's current position. He's going to have a lot of stuff. I like mine because I've set up my food in ways that will become much more apparent even later. But I've certainly started down that road now.
Yeah.
And I like Randy. So basically at the moment, I kind of like where everybody is. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool. All right. Muting you again. Have fun. I'll check in next harvest.
All right, now that he's mute, who do you actually like?
What's that? Who do I actually like? No. I like the first 3. Like, I don't know what Nick's got going yet.
I like the little bonus audio at the end there. All right. Baby, we're a good player. Awesome. So family growth, then minor improvement flipped, and we're the only one who can make a baby. We're the only one that has a room. You can't add a 3rd family member until you have a room for them to live in. I mean, barring, there's always cards that break the rules, right? It's one of those games. Nick can build a room here if he wants to. If Nick does build a room, then it'll force us to grow with our first action. But if Nick doesn't build a room, then we can actually grow with the second action. Looks like he built a room. All right, so now he has room, and we're going to have to first pick. But that's fine. Shadow took a pile of clay. I want clay eventually because I want these sheep. I want to be able to eat sheep. But whatever. First things first. Must grow family. Interesting. So the only miner, because we spent all of our wood, the only miner I can play is that I can market stall to turn grain into veggie, which I guess that's good. I mean, planting it would let me eat vegetables potentially. I mean, I have nothing else to do because I have no wood, and Nick forced my hand, so I'm not really well set up for these miners, unfortunately. Yeah, sure. Man, I want clay for fireplace, but I don't know how that works now. The one drawback to growing our family early is we got to feed that guy, right? People's got to eat. And it's 2 food per player, so I got to have 6 food by the time we get to this harvest. I'm hoping I can eat these sheep and also have a breeding pair. But we'll see. I may regret converting the grain because it means I can't brick oven for 5 food. Might have been a mistake. All right. Website refreshes every time somebody takes a turn. Nick played an occupation. Oh, the gardener. Lets him take vegetables from general supply. And what did John do? John followed up his giant pile of wood with an improvement. Okay, he bought the cheap fireplace. So 2 clay is not going to get me a fireplace now. And Shadow played an occupation. Oh, he has water carrier. Once anybody has built the well, place 1 food on the remaining round spaces. So that early well, now we see why he prioritized Reedstone food so much. That early well let him not only get the 5 food from the well, but this water carrier got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 food. That is a great water carrier. And now it's our turn. Start player would be tempting because I don't like going last, but I have no miners. I didn't have any miners when I made the baby. Still don't have any miners. I guess it's Reedstone food. I mean, is it? I like the food. The stone builds up to things. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to need reed eventually. 2 clay doesn't do me any good. I need more clay than that. So I have to let that accumulate. Yeah, I'm going to take Reedstone food. I know I'm going to need the reed and the stone eventually. Oh, I guess I could take the sheep there, but I'm hoping... Oh, I see. John built a fireplace. So if I want this breeding pair of sheep, I need to take them now, or John is going to first pick 3 sheep. Yeah, and there's nothing that's particularly awesome for right this minute. So I'm going to go ahead and take a breeding pair of sheep. I'm officially nervous about my ability to feed my people, though. I mean, I may have to do... We call it bottom feeding, like fishing and day laborer and whatnot. Man, this action has done nothing so far. Haven't done a single stone thing. John starts by building his own room, which should force Nick to grow his family. funny. It's probably another game where I'd be interested to have Shadow come along behind me and tell me everything I'm doing wrong. Shadow's is better at this game than I am. I mean, I've got more experience in Magic. He's got more experience at Agricola. That is our current relationship. I mean, he's might be the best Agricola player in the world. There's nobody that's obviously better. There are some other people that are probably similarly good. But yeah, Shadow's really good at this game. Nick did not grow his family? Oh, Nick's still thinking. Nick did grow his family. Okay. And did he have any interesting minor? The sack cart. So Nick played this thing, which puts grain out on future squares. So he now has a source of grain. Shadow is... Okay, he took 4 wood. He's building up toward getting a room eventually. What the hell are we up to? Really would like to feed my people someday. Does that mean I have to take 3 clay? I mean, it might. Oh, I can also use this to feed. I can use the basket maker as an ock. I don't necessarily need field warden right away. I'm going to take 3 clay. I'm going to need this clay one way or the other. Ideally, I won't eat these sheep. I will have a breeding pair of sheep that can start throwing off 2 food every turn. Every harvest. So maybe I'm not getting the fireplace until I get some future pile of clay. Clay's been a little harder to get this game than I'm used to. All right, I gotta go to the restroom. I will be right back in 1 minute. I'm back. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. Now it's my turn. So we get 2 actions in a row, and then Shadow took the start player marker. So Shadow will go next. What was this? Read some food. Nick built the 3 clay fireplace, triggering John's charcoal burner. Shadow went first and is playing a duck pond. So I get 2 actions in a row. If I don't take 3 wood, Shadow will first pick 6 wood. Which, that's not a catastrophe for me if I let that happen. I mean, I can take 4 food, which is pretty good for me. I can take a grain into a brick oven. It's been so hard to get stone. People have been all over the Reedstone Food Square. Not that that's a big surprise. I mean, I wouldn't mind Reed Pond into Basket Maker as a way to feed, except I haven't been able to get the miner. And I guess if I play Basket Maker, I can pay a food for Basket Maker and then draft a pile of Reed. Huh. Yeah. Turning that grain into veggie didn't work out. I was thinking that I might be able to plow, and like because I was looking to eat sheep, I could get to a cooking hearth and start eating vegetables as well. But it has definitely made it harder to go for this brick oven line. If I was able to just go brick oven here, I would feel a lot better. I feel like I'm gonna want more Reed. Ah! I can't actually build the oven because the improvement square is taken. I could, if I go... I feel like I'm going to want this 4 food next turn. Which means I am clear to play a miner. If I go Basket Maker... It turns on Reed Pond. Of course, so would Field Warden, but the question is, do I need to eat the Reed? Yeah, I think converting that grain to veggie was bad. The thing is, if I build an Ock, I need 6 food. I can go, God, I can go grain oven. I can go grain into 4 food. It wouldn't be crazy to start plowing fields either. It's like, how do I feel like, all right, food is the thing I've got to fix. And I want to fix it long term, which makes me feel like plowing and setting up to sow would be nice. 4 food. If I go plow and a grain, then next turn I could potentially go 4 food, plow, sow. I can eat 1 raw grain and actually be in an okay place. Definitely taking a grain. I'm gonna do this. I don't know if it's right. It's what I'm doing. I assume Shadow took 6 wood. Shadow did in fact take 6 wood. I feel like I'm really priced into taking 4 food here. It's not going to take 4 food here. I'm not happy about it, but That's what I'm doing. Now I kind of want to see what happens. John's going to make a baby. I don't know what the other guys are going to do. John doesn't need to make it till the second action, so he takes the sheep, sure. He's got stables now, too. And he's got spit roast. So they eat for extra. I mean, I have improvement for oven, baking my grain, as an option. I also have basket maker plus clay. I mean, plus reed, either the 3 reed or reedstone food. I also have plow followed by sow. It just means I have to eat a raw grain. But then I'm set up for the next. I mean, it's good long term. Doesn't really help me short term, though. Wow, Nick took day laborer? Is he that desperate for food? I guess he is. Oh, he's undergardener. I see. Nick has undergardener, so day laborer gives him a vegetable. He can eat the vegetables in his fireplace. Kind of want to set this up. So far away, though. It's just a nice way to make, like with the stone cutter, making it cheaper. Maybe I was supposed to throw a reedstone food in there. I mean, the stone cutter is really good at getting the guilds as a way to feed. Things like basket maker's workshop, pottery, shadow. Took the occupation square, so I can't take it for 1 food. Tinsmith, so he's going to feed by eating clay. 1 food per clay, but he's built the well, so it's actually 3 food for every 2 clay. Pretty good food engine. So if I reedstone food, I now have a stone and a reed and my 6th food. If I then get to take this giant pile of reed, I'm in good shape for a basket maker's workshop, which nobody else can build right now. I kind of like that. It's so hard to get. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to sow stuff here, but that's okay. The fact that I have reedstone food. All right, so I have 6 food. I can set myself up for a basket maker's workshop for the next harvest. Starting to stitch things together. John grows his family. It goes Nick, then me, then Nick again. Nick went plow, fair enough. I think 3 reed. Setting myself up for a BMW. It feels pretty good. Especially once I have the BMW, I can feel even better about this reed pond. All right, well, let me get the guys in here. We can do another update.
Go to the scanner.
Hilarious. I come to check in for another update. Where is everybody?
They went to the bathroom because they thought it might take a while for these last couple turns.
Is it going to take a while for these last couple turns?
Well, that's up to you. And you already took your turn. What did
Yeah.
you do? You
I took the read.
Oh, interesting. All right, I'm gonna sow.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about going with a sow line there because I have a grain and a veggie, so I could have gone plow into sow, but I don't know. Giant pile of reed and setting myself for BMW seemed better.
Sure.
Sure.
So,
How bad
we
am I
are
doing,
now-
Shadow? Let me know.
all right. So I'll let everyone know how they're doing. I'm gonna lunch, and I'm not gonna convert my stuff. So again, I like where I'm at, despite the fact that anyone who's ever played Agricola would tell you that I'm losing.
Why? You're in great shape.
Because I'm in last to grow, and I have to waste an entire action next round, um, growing, build room, then grow. Although I guess I'm not going to do that. I'm probably just going to start with 6 wood, and then build a room, and then grow the round after that.
Yeah, your food is amazing, but you only have 2 people. That makes sense.
Yeah, my food is amazing. I like where I'm at. Like my food is good. I have to start converting. Randy, you've got some things. Food is certainly your issue. You look like you're set up for a Renault plus BMW,
Yep.
which looks perfectly good, although that takes care of some of your food. Whether you go with a clay oven or a fireplace or something along those lines, obviously that's the direction that you need to go. But your first growth certainly has netted you some good things. Looking at John, I don't like John's board at all. So he's got no food. He's got 3 food per harvest, which is not terrible. And charcoal burner will probably give him a 4th one per, so that's okay. But he needs to start converting that into something useful. I like where Nick's at. So Nick's got grain coming to him. He's got veggies coming out of the ground forever. Like this is his gardener, and his gardener plus his fireplace. If he upgrades that to a cooking hearth, 1, John likes it, and 2, he's making a large amount of food per round. So I kind of like where Nick is. Nick's got some solid food set up. Randy, I think your food is shaky, but is turning the corner. And John has got food, but like very little else happening. So I'd like to see some more come from John. So again, I like where I'm at, but it's going to be an awkward row to turn. Like I probably don't grow until round 9.
Yeah, your
If
farm
I-
is kind of hilarious. It's got 2 wooden rooms on it.
Yes. I have 2 wooden rooms, which seems really bad with the constable in play. But because the constable's in play, I think that's the reason why I'm actually going to pick up the 6 wood. Because I'd like to get towards
Yeah.
building fences.
It's not 6 wood, right? It's 5 wood.
That's 5 wood. Well, 5 wood is actually much less interesting. Yes,
5
it is
wood.
certainly 5 wood. All right, so I fed with food. You fed with. Everyone's feeding with food right now. Nick is feeding possibly with veggies.
Yes, I am eating 2 veggies.
And he's a market stall in hand, 3 grain coming, and he likes eating veggies. Win.
Good stuff.
I
All
need
right.
some spices
Thanks.
or something.
Thanks for
All
the
right, now I
update.
start this mess. So yeah, I have to decide about 5 wood. I might actually not go. Yeah, I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna build a room. 5 wood is not 6 wood.
Fair
It is
enough.
close enough that I'm just gonna skip it.
Well, then
and
I have
build
to
a
decide
room.
between 5 wood and 6 clay. What does 6
Clay's
clay
really
do?
good for you.
Like, I don't have the ability to eat my sheep yet.
Right. Clay certainly allows you to renovate BMW or renovate into
I
a.
require clay, and there's 6 clay. I think I have to take 6 clay here.
Aren't you gonna mute us now and go back to your stream?
Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later. All right. Yeah, I need the clay. I need to be able to eat sheep. And there's not a lot of pressure on the renovation square, so I'm taking 6 clay. Does that actually give me this? Or am I going to be 1 short? If I use 3 to reno, I'm going to need 1 more clay later. That's annoying. But I may also get a pottery, right? I mean, the fact that this guy lets 1 stone acquire the pottery and the joinery and the basket maker's workshop is kind of nice. So John took the 5 wood, of course. Shadow made the room so that he can grow his family. There's still a 4 wood square on here. I mean, I may wind up taking 4 wood. The thing is, I'm still going to need a lot of wood because I want to build a lot of fences to make sure that I hit the constable bonus. And in theory, I need 3 more wood for this mansion too. If the game actually gets there. Yeah, BMW. Sorry, BMW is Basket Maker's Workshop. It is the BMW of the major improvements, in fact. All right, Nick took the 4 wood. Fair enough. Shadow grew his family, presumably. So what does that leave for me? It leaves... I have a Reno for a Basket Maker's Workshop available to me. I also have... So I have 0 food right now, so I can't play an occupation. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to build an improvement first so that I make sure I get the cheaper cooking hearth before one of them upgrades their fireplace. Because I think that followed by Reno is totally reasonable on this board. I don't need to take start player. I don't have a good reason to do that. Yeah, and now I can either... I mean, I could Reedstone food. Or I can renovate. Yeah. But I want a cooking hearth. It's just a thing that I require, and they're about to get more expensive. I have a veggie I can plant, so I don't want merely a fireplace. Yep. Yeah, here's the BMW I keep talking about. Basket Maker's Workshop costs 2 reed and 2 stone. That's only 1 stone for me because of my stone cutter. And it allows me to eat reed during the harvest. I can only eat 1, but I get 3 food for it, which is a pretty good rate of return. Plus, if I wind up with a pile of reed on my board at the end of the game, I can get as many as 3 bonus points from it. And the thing is, usually the only guy who wants reed at the end of the game is the guy with the Basket Maker's Workshop. So that definitely comes up. John took the other wood. Fair enough. I'm going to guess no. No, he took Ock. He played the Farmer. The next time you build fences, you receive 1 wild boar. Each time you build at least 1 fence after that, you receive a cattle. Fair enough. He's definitely going animals. Start player into 3 wood. Into 6 wood would be awesome. I may need to take 3 wood while I can. Is that possible? I still don't have a good start player action, right? I have no wood on my tableau. I don't have a 3rd Ock yet, so I can't play any of these. I may just want to do the Reno while I still can. Nick plowed a field. I could play an occupation. All it does is turn on Reed Pond, which isn't really where I need to be right now. So it's either 3 wood to make sure nobody gets 6, or Reno. Or Reedstone food. What happens if I take Reedstone food? Means I have a stone, which means I can get a pottery, which is kind of exciting. Oh man, this is going to turn into 3 stone too. I'm getting this renovation taken care of. Like, if the closer I get to being able to renovate to stone, the earlier I can grow my family that additional time. Yeah, I'm just getting my basket maker's workshop. So now I have 3 food from this reed. I have 2 food from this sheep. I'm only 1 food short of paying for this harvest. I can potentially get that food. I mean, a 5 food action is queued up to be decent next turn. Reedstone food action would give me that magical 6th. Reedstone food action would also, I guess I can buy a pottery if I get a stone, but I won't have any leftover clay to eat. I can also, in theory, plant vegetables. Yeah, I'm going to need 1 more clay grab. I'm probably going to want an oven. I might want the pottery. I still have dreams of mansion. I gotta make sure I don't get too distracted. Mansion and Constable is tough. It's gonna be tough to hit Mansion and Constable. This is nice though. Man, the dream would be to get this 3 stone. Like, if start player doesn't move, Shadow can have the 6 wood. I'll take the 3 stone, or vice versa. Either of those would be fine. I mean, these 2 actions obviously still will go a long way toward determining what goes on. John can see that there's a potential 6 wood and a potential 3 stone sitting there. John went with fences. Right? Yeah, clôtures. So 1 wood per fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now he's got somewhere for his sheep to live. That fired off the farmer to give him this boar. Not bad. What is Nick going to do? If he doesn't, yeah, they're potentially, man, I want him to not start player so that I'll get either. If he takes something other than start player, 3 wood or 2 stone, then Shadow and I are very happy. Yeah, I don't know what he's got going on. Survey says. What did he take? Wow, he used his undergardener. He did day laborer for veggie. And Shadow jumped on the 6 wood? Yes, Shadow jumped on the 6 wood. I'm going to take 3 stone. 3 stone feels great for the way my game is going. Does all kind of good stuff with my stone cutter. Right, my renovation is cheaper. So I can reno. Well, I kind of need some clay. But like this is only going to cost me 2 stone. The reno's only going to cost me 2 stone. I'm 1 stone away from being able to do that double. Yeah, this Reedstone food. I kind of want Reedstone food here because the stone is awesome, and I'm 1 food off of this harvest right now. John took 2 boar. That makes sense. Yeah. His animal situation is suddenly great. Still 5 food square out here too. Brief rundown of Agricola for you in the chat is it's an action drafting game fundamentally. Every turn there's a new action. Every round there's a new action added until you get to round 14. So your actions do things like acquire resources, wood, clay, reed, food. The key tension in the game is that every harvest you have to feed your people. So on the one hand, you want to expand your family. You want to put extra rooms in your farm, and then use the family growth action to get more people so that you can draft more actions so that you can do more things. But every harvest, you have to feed them all, 2 food per person. So there's this tension of building a food engine versus building out your farm. The way the scoring works is basically everything that you can do is worth points. Let's see, the summary card is maybe the easiest way to see this. You get points for how many fields do you have, how many pastures do you have, how many grains, how many veggies, how many sheep, how many wild boar, how many cattle, how many people, how many rooms, how nice are your rooms. So all those things give you victory points. And you can see there's actually a running total of victory points under our names. Winning score, 40 is a good score. This game, 50 is a great score. Constable is down for 5 bonus points for anybody who manages to have no negatives. So we might see a 50-pointer this game. Shadow took Reedstone Food. I wanted the Reedstone Food. That's annoying. Do I have to take the 5 food now? 5 food's a solid action. I mean, I wanted Reedstone Food, but what are my other options? So I'm eating this. I'm clearly eating the sheep and the grain. So that's 5 food. I require 1 additional food. I have 2 actions left before the harvest. I don't want to eat my last veggie. I don't particularly want to bake my grain, and my resources would only let me build the stone oven anyway. So I don't have enough clay to usefully build the pottery. I'm just going to take 5 food. I mean, I only need 1, but this gives me 1 plus for next harvest. Yeah, that's definitely my action. Now what? Oh, plow's been taken. I could throw... It may be time to throw the field warden down. I mean, I definitely want to do a lot of plowing. Like what? If I do 4, 5... If I plow 4 times, I only need to fill this with fences to hit the constable bonus. Because that's going to eventually be a stone room. Yeah. Getting that 3rd oct down also... Right now I'm in this weird spot where I can't really take start player effectively because I don't have anything to put down. But Reed Pond is quite good for me, since I can eat reed, and since I have these dreams of one day playing the mansion. John trying to sort out what he's going to do. I guess me taking the 5 food, he can eat 2, 4. Oh, and spit roast makes 5 food, so he's what, 1 food short? He can hypothetically upgrade his fireplace to a cooking hearth so that the boar eat for 3 food, and in addition, his charcoal burner will fire and give him a free food and a free wood. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if he just took an improvement for that. What did he do? Oh, he just took more sheep. Hilarious, right? How many sheep was that? Yeah, he just took 2. He took 2 sheep for 4 food. He took a 4 food action. I mean, I took a 5 food action. Seems reasonable. I just felt like his upgrading fireplace is a 2 food and a wood action, plus he has a cooking hearth for the rest of the game. The only so my Basket Maker's Workshop does turn reed into food, but it can only be used once per harvest. I can convert a single reed into 3 food. I can't do it multiple times. Otherwise, yeah, 2 reed would have been a 6 food action, except it's actually a 0 food action since I already have the reed I'm planning to eat this harvest. Nick took 3 clay. Yeah, I've had trouble plowing. Nick's been pretty aggressive hitting the plow button. I mean, maybe he'll slow down, but I mean, everybody's going to want to hit the plow, so I think it is time to play the Field Warden. Make sure I have the ability to plow, make sure I can drop a reed pond at whatever point I get a miner. Yeah. And yeah, I'm 1 reedstone food. Well, I don't know. Things are going okay. I'm interested. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I feel okay about it. Shadow is blue. He took an improvement? Oh, I didn't know he had a fruit tree. And he's got the brick oven. Field Warden time. Let's go check in on everybody else.
Bad person.
Checking in on you guys. How are things?
Field Warden? Very nice.
Yeah.
This round went good for me.
So let's talk about how things are going. Like, Nick has certainly turned his corner. He did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to get 2 more fields down, and he needed to sow them. So now he's got a infinite stream of 4 food coming every round, and he's maxed his veg points. So like his life is much better once he upgrades.
He's about to sow them, to be clear. If you guys don't see this,
he's about to sow them now.
Speaking of which, Nick, it's your turn.
I sow.
John was able to pick up a breeding pair of boar. His farmer actually ends up being quite useful. It really helps towards the constable, which is something we all should need to be keeping an eye on.
Sure.
And he's got 2 different breeding animals in addition to having the spit roast, which gives him an extra food when he breeds his animals.
Eats them.
I have an infinite supply of food, yet again. I mean, it probably runs out around turn 13 or 14. But my food's pretty good. But I have nothing else going on yet, other than I never have to take a food action at all for the game. Let's take a look at you, Randy. You dropped a Field Warden. That makes your game a million times better. Field Warden is so good. It lets him plow, like, even if other people are there. Plow is going to be hotly contested due to the fact that we have a constable.
Constable?
Yep.
So Field Warden Constable feels good. I was dogging a little bit your early Constable. I like seeing Constable as a bomb, unless you're trying to get towards occupation requirements. And it doesn't look like you're trying to get to occupation requirements. You haven't played a miner from your hand. But maybe you needed to get to 3, and now you've hit it, and now you're going to do good things. I think everyone's got something going for him, so I'm interested to see where this is going. I don't think anyone has it in the bag, and I don't think anyone is completely shut out. So yeah, I like where we are right now.
Sounds right. All right.
So I'm feeding with just food. Randy, you're feeding with food and or how are you feeding, Randy? Like you're
I'm
interesting.
eating a sheep
Sure.
to get to 6, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and eat this reed so that I have food for later. Yeah. So then I'm going to feed and have 3 left over.
That seems good.
And then I regrow the sheep, obviously. All right, fed.
And then John could eat one of each animal type and grow them back, and that would net him 5 food, which would put him at 10, which would leave him with 4 afterwards.
Yeah, but there's no reason to eat the extra boar.
Right. So you're
Because-
going to let the boar breed for points and
Mhm.
eat the sheep. And Nick just converts grain into points, into food.
Yeah, the cool thing about Nick's engine, if you guys weren't here when we mentioned it earlier, the gardener lets him take vegetables from the general supply. So these veggie fields, the veggies never actually leave. He's still going to have 4 veggies at the end of the game, but every turn he gets 2 free veggies from the general supply, which he can then eat in the fireplace.
Nom nom nom.
Nom 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 nom. All right,
Gardener is so awesome.
check in with you guys next harvest.
Yep. I'm just going to take 4 wood to get up to 15. That feels like the right number.
All right, what is left over? Nobody's taking start player away from Shadow, which seems good for Shadow, but also kind of good for me. I mean, I'm happy to just keep going second a lot. 4 wood would have been nice. 3 wood, I don't know if I need to first pick 3 wood. I feel like I want Reedstone food because I can do cool things with stone. Yeah, I can do cool things with stone. And I need a reed if I'm going to reno. I kind of need 2 reed. But I mean, I may take this 3 reed square so that I can both Stonehouse renovate and Stonehouse extension. I mean, in fact, I can do that in one action. I can take reno plus an improvement, and then my improvement can be Stonehouse extension. I need 1 more reed to make that work. So I'm not going to be growing my family this round, but I should be able to grow them next round if I want to, which is kind of cool. Wish I had one of those cards that just reward you for having stone, because I'm going to get there pretty quick. So John took the 3 wood. God, I'm getting frozen out of wood. Nick plowed again. I have my eyes on this 3 reed, which I'll probably get. I would be surprised if Shadow took that here. He did not. Yeah, I think I take the 3 reed. All right. There's no other giant piles of resource. I mean, 4 clay is okay. Wouldn't call it giant. And yeah, reed just does cool things for me. It's funny, if I had declined to eat that reed, then I could have gone reno Stonehouse extension into family growth this turn. But my food would be kind of precarious, right? I'd be at 1 food rather than 4. And I'd have no reed to eat on the next harvest. So I don't think that would have been right. Yeah, I don't think that would have been right. I like the way I played it. I think. Now I have to decide whether I'm doing my reno Stonehouse extension here or in theory next turn. I think here because there's no giant awesome things. John played the Baker. Interesting. This card's pretty good for me. What? Someone took start player? Nick has actually taken start player away from Shadow, demoting him all the way to second. I guess Strawberry Patch is a pretty good reason for that. 2 veggie fields is the requirement to play this minor improvement. It's worth 2 victory points native, plus it puts 3 food on the next 3 squares. So, yeah. Strawberry Patch, absolutely excellent for Nick right there. Shadow built a bunch of fences, so he's ready to go get animals. He's covered the maximum possible 9 squares. Well, the most you can cover with 2 pastures. The most you can cover while giving yourself the ability to draft all 3 animal types, which is important with a constable around. Oh, and the clay's gone? Yeah. Renovate with the stone house extension. Stonecutter doing good work. Now I get next turn. There's nobody contesting me for the family growth square. So I get family growth with a minor, which is presumably the reed pond, which gives me reed on what, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I'll have exactly 3 turns left to collect it all. I also do, so for this harvest, I'm going to need 7 food. The turn where you first make a baby, it only needs 1 food. So I'm going to need 7. I have 4. I can eat a reed to get to 7. I can eat a sheep to get to 9. So I can feed with 2 left over. Yeah, that was a big move. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, this is the dream. If I can actually get this mansion down, this is now an 8-point minor. Stone rooms are normally worth 2 points each. The mansion turns them into 4 points each. So 2-point bonus for every room in your stone house. Pretty expensive, but that is the dream. I don't know. I mean, it's one of these where, like, there's 5 points on the line for no negatives with the constable. Field Warden's going to make it easy for me to fill my farm up with plows. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I expect to fill all these 4 squares with plows. And then I'm going to need, what? 8 wood minimum? Plus the mansion wants 3 more. So it's like, can I get 11 wood? The 11 wood is going to be the tricky part. Hopefully I can get to 11 wood. Meanwhile, what else is going on? Oh, we're all the way to the next turn? Sorry. Yeah, we're all the way to the next turn. That's what I need to accomplish. One of these 3 actions is clearly family growth. Might be nice to get a second plow. Might be nice. I mean, it could be a plow and a sow. Is that crazy? Doesn't sound super awesome. Nick first picked 3 wood. Yeah, I may get punished for neglecting wood. Shadow is like first pick plow. That is what the constable does. I don't have to do that because of the field warden, which is nice for me. But there's only 4 rounds left, so I definitely want to get all the plows. God, what else am I doing? I mean, I was hoping for a giant pile of clay at some point. Reedstone food is not terrible. Well, Reedstone food would let me build a pottery on the spot. these do anything. I just need wood. Am I going to start player for wood? I mean, even my miners want wood. Huh. If I want a stone oven, I will need stone. Mansion is going to need 2 stone. I'm kind of tempted. So 2 stone's not crazy. Reedstone food's not crazy. I wish I had wood to build fences. I can't really get new animals and maintain my breeding pair of sheep right now, which is less than ideal. Reedstone food is gonna make me points and food, and I'm just gonna do that. Because the thing is, accumulating reed is nice, and I have a thing to spend it on. I do think maybe I should plow. I like the way I'm going to get to fill my board up via plowing fields, via the field warden. Okay, John took start player here. We're going last, which is annoying. But you'll often see round 11 is a time when people make start player a high priority, because this round 12 square is going to be a good one. It's either family growth without room or plow and sow, and both of those squares are good. Now, we don't value plow sow super high, and we're going to be the first one to 4 kids, but still. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and plow. Well, whatever. I'll take the family growth square first. So now we're at 6 reed. 3 harvests means 3 reed left over. So we're currently at +1 reed toward victory points at the end of the game. I like getting the victory points from Basket Maker's Workshop. They usually work out pretty well. May regret this constable is what I fear is going on. I kind of wanted the wood early, but I don't know. I'm sweating my ability to hit the constable bonus, basically because I'm sweating my ability to build fences. I mean, Shadow's already built his. John's built some, but once more. Nick hasn't. All very tricky. All right, let's go check in. How are
Back to me.
things?
Pretty good.
Checking in for the patented Shadow Rundown.
Sure. Here's my current rundown of the situation. So I've done as good as I can when it comes to like, fuck this shit, I'm doing a constable, right?
Yeah.
So I built the giant pasture. I built the one that is 1 less wood. Like the most points for the least amount of wood is a tiny little pasture in the top corner, but I was thinking maybe I'd grow multiple pairs of animals because food is not an issue for me. I've got food covered for the rest of the game. So I built the slightly less efficient one because it might be able to hold more points.
Sure.
That said, I don't see a whole lot more points on my board. I'm going to have to go find some way of getting points, perhaps in cards or other ways, or I'm just going to be left behind. Randy, on the other hand, has a lot of room for expansion. He needs wood in order to kind of execute any plans that involve Constable, unless he happens to have Hide Farmer and is going heavy into some food. Heavy into some food.
He still has to build some fences or he loses the 1 point. So he needs at least 4 wood.
Right. So looking at Randy, like I really like Randy's spot, right? Like he's got food semi taken care of. He's got 5 food to harvest. He needs 8 food so he has to come up with it. He has the Field Warden. The Field Warden really wants the first thing to come out this round to be Plow Sow.
True story.
It's just better. So that one's a little bit of a coin flip, but Field Warden is a good pick. Matter of fact, all of the cards that Randy have in play are early picks as far as I'm concerned, except for like the Reed Pond. The Reed Pond was really good for you though. Like that was family growth plus 9 food.
Yeah.
I like. So let's take a look at John. John has 6 spaces left to fill, and he's got 2 shots of a plow to fill it with. So he also has Constable kind of on lockdown. All he has to do is pick up like a single cow. He can do that just by fencing at some point later.
Yeah,
So
sure.
he's totally got that thing on lockdown. But again, he's kind of in the same situation as me, where yeah, that's some number of points, but it's not enough to win this game. Not with you currently at 19, and even Nick. Like Nick's actually in what looks to be kind of one of the best positions. Nick has his food sorted. He's got 4 fields. He's at 9 wood, so he's close to kind of finishing that thing. He and you are going to be kind of running into each other when it comes to wood, and he's currently in front of you in the round queue, but that can obviously change. But the fact that you've got 4 guys and everyone else has 3 will be paying dividends, especially in these next couple of rounds as we get more space on the board than we possibly take. So that's where we're at. Again, I think it could be anybody's game. I really like Nick's position if he can bring it home.
Fair enough.
Sure.
I'm eating a reed and a sheep. I'll have 3 food left over, and I will regrow my sheep. All right. Good luck. Check in next harvest.
Yeah, just to reiterate,
It's been a good game. The website's not on this overlay anywhere, is it? It is Boitejeux, BOITEAJEUX.net. So it's French. You can actually see, if you look, these cards are in French. I mean, the translations come up in English, but the cards themselves are in French. So Growth Without Room came up, and John said, forget that, I have to plow. Crazy. And Nick said, I don't mind if I do build a 4th person. Sure, thank you for letting me have that. Which means I'm probably going to get 4 wood. I mean, 3 stone is an awesome square, but I mean, you just heard Shadow's analysis. He's not wrong. I am desperate for at least 8 wood. Like, I might be able to get away with just 8 wood, but I gotta come up with at least 8 wood if I'm going to hit this Constable. And 5 points plus the 8 wood would turn into 6 points all by itself, right? Just covering up 4 squares and having a pasture. Right now, unused squares are minus a point, and not having any pastures is minus a point. So if I go from 0 to 1 pasture, that goes from -1 to 1. That's effectively a 2-point play. And then every square that I cover up turns a -1 into a 0. So. What is Shadow up to? Shadow doesn't usually go in the tank. Okay, we're refreshing. Did not take my wood and did not take the stone. Wow. He took breeding. Was that 1 cow? He took 1 cow? He took 1 cow. Crazy. I mean, I guess there's going to be competition for cows, but I was not expecting him to first pick 1 cow. All right, 4 wood. Windmill slam. I will take 3 wood if it's there. How's my food this harvest? I can eat a reed for... I can eat a sheep, 5. So I've got exactly 8, which is exactly what I need. John takes the 3. Fair enough. I don't know if I'm going to take 2. I might. Nick takes the 3 stone. Wow, that's not a bad... What is that? 3 stone 6th? Pretty good. I probably do take 2 wood here. I mean, what else have I got going on? I can take the clay and build a pottery is the other thing I can do. Right? I have a stone sitting on my board. I can also read stone food. Right? Building up bonus points. Getting food, getting stone. For this. I need 2 stone for that. God, the 3 wood though. I'm going to take 2 wood here. Oh, Shadow took start player. So he's probably going to take growth without room. Which means what? Means whatever. Take the 2 wood while it's here. Yeah, I really want to get to 11 wood if I can. Because then I can sink 3 into this. And extra wood is great. Like, this would be 2 free sheep if I got an action for it. This is 2 points for 1 wood. Like, every wood is so precious right now. All right, I'm going to be plowing. It's funny. I'm going to have the ability to first pick plow sow. And I'm not going to need to because of the field warden. All very bizarre. I mean, the animals that pay off for Shadow, it's really this constable, right? Taking the cow means he's off the hook for hitting all the constable. He now has all 3 animal types. He can focus on grain, veggie, plow. Wow, he might first pick plow sow. Wonder if he's going to first pick plow sow. That's interesting. I might get growth no room for a 5th person. That would be cool. Yeah, he needs to make sure he gets to plow. John sows. Reasonable. So I'm going to be plowing. What else am I doing? There's a 5 food square. That's not terrible. I could take a random boar. The thing is, that leaves me without room to breed my sheep. But I mean, I could just eat 2 sheep. I'm sort of down 2 food long term, but I get a boar now? That doesn't sound very exciting. I could take 4 clay. What did Shadow do? Shadow took his veggie. Yeah, I think he might plow sow. think he probably should plow so. All right, what's my clay situation? I need a clay action if I'm going to do this. And if I take 4 clay, then I can build pottery. Oh, but I also need a stone action, right? Ugh, so hard. But if I take 4 clay, then it sets me up to build the pottery. I mean, the pottery is kind of nice, right? It is 2 points and gives me the ability to eat clay and gives me the ability to have a giant pile of clay turn into victory points at the end. And so if I take this clay action, I'm potentially setting myself up for both the mansion and the pottery. And either one of them is good enough to justify this action, I think. There's no wood to take. I'm going to use my last action to plow a field. Yeah, I'm going to take 4 clay. I mean, John could hypothetically build the pottery, but he might also be planning to renovate with that clay. Oh, and it's my last action as well, which is to plow a field. All right, Shadow, what are you first picking? He could family growth without room. And the thing is, every family member is 3 victory points. So when you're short points, there's also something to be said for plow. Okay, but he's going to plow so. I think it makes sense. He is desperate to hit that constable bonus. So he's going to plow so. And I will happily take 3 victory points and an action in the last round. Does put me on the hook to come up with 9 food this harvest. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm 1 short. But I can either... I can eat a veg. I'm gonna get to plow so with the field warden. So I'm gonna have my grain and my veggie planted, which means I could eat a vegetable for 3 food. I can also potentially build a pottery if that's the direction I want to go. I could also Reedstone food is totally reasonable here, as it sends me down that mansion path. 3 wood is also an action that John did not take 3 wood. That makes me happy because he's got to plow a field, right? He had to finish triggering his plow. Cool game. I may need the 6 food action too. I'm going to feed 5 people. Lots of things I want. I like 3 wood. I like 6 food. I like Reedstone food. Those are the things I like, right? Yeah, those are the things I like. I also like building a pottery. And I might even like 2 wood. I'm going to run out of fences actions eventually. I may need to, if I take 3 wood, the thing is, there's fences, and then next turn there's fences, and then that's it. But realistically, I guess John doesn't care about building fences now. John does still get a cow from his farmer if he builds fences. So he doesn't need to fill any area, but he can build fences in here so that he's got 2 pastures instead of 1. He can build fences around these stables, and that will get him a farmer. So he probably does want to build fences at some point. Nick clearly wants to build fences at some point, and maybe why he's in the tank thinking right now. And that looks like what he did. Yeah, so Nick built fences. So now either John or I gets to build fences next turn, but not both. Whatever. 6 isn't enough. Ugh. Shadow took the 3 wood. Shadow took the 3 wood. Why would Shadow take the 3 wood there? The hell is he up to? He can't build fences. You're gonna make me take friggin' 2 wood? So awkward. I really wanted 3 wood there. Maybe 2 wood is good enough. I mean, there is also a point where I will give up on Constable. Like, Mansion is 8 points. Constable is only 5. Like, I can go Mansion plus Clogs. I do also have to feed all these people. So I feel like 6 food isn't crazy. Maybe it slides. Does John need food? No, everybody's got food sorted. So I can sort of let this slide. I can't build fences now. I can start player to make sure I get to build fences first. But then I can't build the 8. And I mean, does John want to? I don't know if John and Shadow... Well, Shadow can't screw me. John might want to. Why did Shadow take 3 wood? I'm going to read Stone Food. It gives me the stone for Mansion. It gives me the food I need for this harvest. And it helps me get points from BMW at the end of the game. I am now capable of building a mansion if I want to. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. All right. Here's where the scoring sits right now. Everybody's got fields. John is maxed. 4 is the most you can get from these categories. Everybody has built fences except me, so I'm getting a negative right here. Everybody has some grain. John has it nicely planted. Everybody's got veggies. We talked about how Nick has that gardener engine where he's been maxed the whole time. Nick is missing 2 animal types. I'm missing 2 animal types. John's missing a cow, but he can get that by building a fence. Unused spaces is my big problem, and this is why I've been trying to build up enough wood to be able to cover all of these, but 8 is that number. I've got lots of points from rooms for having 4 stones. That's where a lot of my points are coming from, that and family members. God, Shadow has 18 points worth of cards? That is nuts. 18? 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God. He built Holiday House. Oh my God. I've never seen Holiday House built. That's what just happened. He built Holiday House. Good Lord. In round 14, you don't place any people. So he has to field 2 harvests, which he's got taken care of. That is insane. And he stole my wood. So he built Holiday House and stole my wood. Oh, he's using my wood to build the Holiday House. He played Holiday House in round 12. I just missed it. Wow. Yeah, he took Holiday House in round 12 and I just missed it. That's all very funny. Oh, I see. He can build a stable to fill this room in. That's why he took it. He's going to go build 1 stable to eliminate the last negative from his board, which is this 1 unused space. This also explains why he first picked the cow. It's because he has no actions next turn. He's just going to skip round 14. So he's going to place a stable here for turning a -1 into a 0, so that'll be 37. He hits constable for 42. He goes breed. He breeds what? 2 boars gets him to 43, and 2 sheep gets him to 44. I've got him at 44, and if he doesn't need to eat any of his food, and I don't think he does. Crazy. Yeah, I think he's holiday house, and he's done at 44. Took my wood. So to build a stable with it. Yep, there's the stable. Yeah. Not playing Magic, playing Agricola. Great game. John and I both need a cow, which is possible. There's 2 cows left in the game. Shadow's still thinking? No, it's my turn, and my refresh didn't work. Okay. Yeah, Shadow now has 42, and he's just skipping next turn, which means if he's still start player, that I get to be start player, which is kind of cool. All right, 2 actions left. One of them is clearly going to be Plow Sow via the Field Warden. I mean, I could take 2 wood. I could mansion. There's not a ton of pressure on my ability to mansion. Do I need the 6 food? The other thing I can do is I can take a vegetable so that when I Plow Sow, it's basically a 2-point action. No, it feels like the thing that I need to do is I need to make sure... I don't know. I want to give Constable a good, honest shot. If I take 2 wood here... then I can lead with fences next turn, cover this, and still give myself the ability to go draft 3 wood mansion. I'm just going to run out of actions, right? So one of my actions this turn is Plow Sow. One of my actions next turn is Plow Sow. That covers those 2 squares. I wind up with 5 grain and 3 veggies. I need 8 wood for this. It's so easy for somebody to just screw me. Here's the thing, though. If I'm going to hit the Constable, then I have to spend an action on wood. I have to spend an action on fences. I have to spend an action on boar, and I have to spend an action on cow. So, and there's 2 Plow Sows. That leaves 1 action. It is officially impossible to do mansion and constables out of true. It's only possible if I get an awesome wood action. I have to get like a 5 wood action, which is not possible. So I can't get all the animals and the constable. So I shouldn't be sweating the constable. The mansion is more points, and it turns clogs into a 2-point action. Like, there's a bunch of 2-point actions. I just have to give up on constable and focus on mansion. I mean, it's still good to build fences or dump a bunch of wood into stables anyway. Like, there's still points there. There's also this 6 food thing sitting here, which I guess they're just not interested in. Maybe? All right, I'm going to plow so, I'm going to plow so. I'm going to play mansion. It's just more points. And then I would like to make fences. I'm not going to be able to get the animals for the constable. These things happen. So if I'm giving up on constable, what does that mean? I take a 6 food action? 6 food's a lot of food. What is my food? If I eat sheep and a reed for 5. So I need 9 food here. I need 19 food for the rest of the game. I have 5, 10, 14, 15, 16. I can eat veggie. I do not require a food action. I can eat 1 veggie and eat the sheep that grows, right? 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right. If I'm eating my sheep down to 1, which I am, so I don't have to take a food action. Great. Yeah, JD Phoenix, you're right. I would need a 5 wood action to pull it off, which is not happening. I don't require the food action. I can take a cow, which is a 2 food action. I can take start player to make sure I get like enough wood to do sexy fences unless somebody first picks and screws me. And then if they do that, I build stables, and it's okay because I'm just trying to avoid the constable. Yeah, I think I'm just dropping my mansion. Leaves me 3 clay, which I can potentially turn into a pottery if I take a stone action. If I take a stone action, I can actually do lots of things, right? Well, I can either build the stone oven or the pottery. Whatever. Mansion. Done. I thought long enough. Now I wish I could hear what they were saying about me. Should we go eavesdrop? Let's eavesdrop.
Action.
His last action is plow sow.
He's got an action. I keep forgetting that. All right.
They don't sound like they're destroying me. I'll take it. All right, fine. Shadow sounds content that he understands my plan. Good enough. Plow sow is a nice action, right? It's 3 points, and then the next plow sow is 4 points. That's 7. I'm obviously hoping to get a fences action. I'm going to take 3 or 4 wood first. John did not take the cow. John took A stone oven. All right, I guess we're competing for cows now. Oh, we can still make them with the... Wait, what just happened? Oh, he got charcoal burner to trigger. He keeps getting more wood. Also, it's a good square. Especially last pick.
What you're doing,
go
and
check
you're
in.
able to play the game and do what, and
Hey.
not necessarily be watching the whole time.
All right, what did Randy do with his last action?
I plow sowed,
Okay.
and then I came to check in.
Hey, Randy. Well, I'm done.
I saw!
Played Holiday House.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Apparently
Holiday
it's a
House
good
is
card.
certainly questionable, but like, I was done. I had nothing better to do.
8 points! That's a big improvement.
8 points is certainly like I'm ending at 44, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it.
Right.
So, but let's take a look and let's see if I can't give a recap once it comes time for feeding.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about my last action. Sorry.
So, Randy, it looks like you had a choice between Mansion and Constable.
Yep.
Constable, certainly questionable. Like, we were talking at the very beginning that Constable with Stonecutter seemed questionable because they typically tend to pull you in different directions.
Yep. I wanted the wood, I wanted to play an Ock, and it may have just been a mistake.
All right. So,
Like, I
I
wanted
don't
to
know
take
how
first-
you end up, right? Like, you're going to get another Plow Sow, which is a ton of points.
Yep.
You probably don't get a fence because between John and Nick, everyone's fencing.
Right. So, was I supposed to... So, I wanted Reedstone Food first, but you first picked it. Was I supposed to second pick 3 wood?
You first picked Reedstone Food.
No, you did.
No, in the game.
Round 1. Like,
the
I
game.
played Constable with the second action of the game. Like, I was going second, and you took Reedstone Food, so I'm
Right.
supposed to play an Ock there. 3 wood is just worse than playing an Ock, and I'm like, Stonecutter isn't going to do anything forever. Field Warden isn't going to do anything forever. Well, this Constable is going to give me 4 wood and get me started toward... I mean, and I did manage to leverage that into First Baby.
Sure.
Right, I
But
made a
one of the
head
things
speaker.
that you have to consider is, I mean, so I normally don't mind the 3-point guys, but the 5, like that guy is ludicrous.
Yeah, he's a lot of points. I kind of knew this at the time. But should I just taken 3 wood and left him in my hand the whole game?
If you needed 3 wood, yeah, I mean,
Well, it's the beginning of the game. I don't know what I need. Like,
sure, but so the only reason why I play the guys that give other people points and gives me 4 wood is because that gets me towards an Ock requirement on a card that I really want to play early. Right? And you certainly weren't there at all.
sure.
Yeah, because if you want wood, then you paid well, you didn't pay the food because it was free,
Right.
but you just got 1 extra wood, and you gave Shadow and John 5 points for
Yep.
1 wood.
Yeah, Constable is strictly a bomb. Play it in round 14 as a surprise. I'm the only one who got it. Like, I don't know where you drafted it, and like I don't care.
Second or
Like
third.
maybe you drafted it third, and 2 other people saw it, and they
Third.
might have been playing for it anyway.
I
But
think
ultimately, Constable you kind of want to bomb with. You don't want to just play it early. It really changes the game in really interesting ways. Like, and if you have cards that support that, then that's fine. But I don't see you having cards that support it. Right? You have Stonecutter.
Right.
The Field Warden kind of helps, but like Stonecutter certainly doesn't get you there. And you have Mansion. Like the Mansion game is very different than the Constable game.
Yep.
All right, so I fed and bred. So I'm just obviously just feeding with food. I converted my clay into food just so that I have tiebreak points at the end. So right now it's hard to say, right? Because we're about to hit round 14. I am out of the way, so everyone gets much better actions in this round 14.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it's enough. Randy, I feel like you're close, but I also feel like your food is slightly suspect.
I don't require a food action. I have to eat 1 veggie.
Okay, well, that's a point, right?
Sheep, reed, and a veggie is 10
It's
food.
10. 4. Oh, because you have the cooking hearth.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Which means you can go all in, but it's hard for you to pick up animals.
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily see where your points are coming. Like I said, if you have hide farmer, things might be good.
I don't have hide farmer.
All right.
I'm just gonna leave you guys
John.
unmuted for the round 14. By the way,
All right.
Okay.
did you want to summarize other people's boards though?
Yeah, like I'm taking a look at John's right now. Like John is an action away from finishing. Like he could rend fence. So rend fence for him is certainly worth 3, 4, 6, 11 points. That puts him at 38. And then he's got 2 actions left to find more points.
5 more points. Yep.
6 more. I end at 44.
Yeah, but I'm going to grow a boar, and that'll give me 1 more point.
Okay, sure. And
So what did you say John ends at?
I don't know where John ends at. I just know that I end at 44, and
Right.
like that's your target. That's your marker right now.
Sure.
Yep.
And Randy, you get a free Plauso, and that's 1,000,000 more points.
Yeah. What's Nick got going on?
I don't know. I feel like
No one knows.
There's a hedge keeper now.
he played a hedge farmer. Yeah, so
Interesting.
he's on his way. Knowing that you can't fence means that if John Wren fences and John doesn't have any more wood left after that, then Nick gets to take wood and possibly help him towards Constable. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be tight. Like, I don't think that my holiday house was good enough for a win. I just knew that it was the best best line that I had. So it's what I
Sure.
took. All right, so we're playing open mic.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's enough to keep me in. I was just going to go XCOM.
Starts with you, Randy.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, I can take 3 wood, which means Nick must fence immediately, or I can. And then if he does fence immediately, I still get to build stables.
Which is 2 points.
Right. So it's a 2-point action that could be dramatically more if Nick doesn't immediately pounce on fences.
And then it would also let you grab animals, and there's lots of animals to grab.
Yeah. Well, I can also I can take 2 cows first pick, which seems kind of exciting. Like it's 3 points if I can hold them. And what is it? Well, you're going to get your cow from the farmer. So that's not relevant. Nick has cows, so there's not as much pressure on that square.
No.
So I think I take 3 wood. Is that crazy?
It's less crazy if you're holding that guy in your hand.
What guy?
A guy that would make this wood better.
I don't have anybody to make this wood better.
All right.
But isn't it still reasonable?
Well, it feels like you're forcing my hand, which only helps John.
But the problem is if I don't force your hand, you're going to take the 3 wood. And
how is this a problem?
I don't get to build stables out of it.
You could build stable. You have 2 stables in play. You only need 4 wood.
That's a good point. Fair. But there's no pressure on the cows. What is there pressure on?
Renault, which doesn't really matter to you.
There's no pressure on Reno. You both get 1.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. There's no pressure on anything.
Yeah.
Right.
It really is.
I mean, I have basically an infinity of 2-point actions.
Well, that feels like that'll get you up to 45. Feels like a win.
Yeah, I have to eat 1 point to do that, but that's...
44. I like it.
Well, the Plauso is better.
But you get that late anyway.
Right. That's my last action.
Oh, that's what you mean, yeah. The Plauso is more than 2 points. Yeah.
Yes. My first pick, minor, so that I can play a 2-point minor. kind of silly, but I think that's the line. Like, well, if you guys need to take a minor, then that will be sad.
Makes sense.
I'm going to first pick clogs.
Clogs are pretty good. That's 2 points.
Uses a wood you couldn't have used anyways.
Right.
Correct.
So I am going to go ahead and reno fence.
All right, so unless John finds his way into 3 stone and a reed, I get to last pick reno fences.
And I do that in a single action. That's the tough part.
Right. Unless you want to fences now so you can start picking up animals. But I guess the only animal you need to pick up is a sheep, which you could do now. And that's only a point.
No, I think.
Do you pick up more
I'm-
wood?
Hmm?
Do you pick up more wood? Do you plow sow?
I'm going to family growth without room
Sure.
because that's something that John might be looking at, and that's 3 points.
Sure.
Absolutely is.
No, I think I take the cows.
So Nick gets one more action.
I get one. What do you mean one more action?
Well, John ran fenced, right? So you have to
Right.
fence.
So I'm renting and fencing.
Right. So you have one action other than those 2 obvious ones.
There is no constable today.
I'm going to plow and or sow in order to sow.
Oh, stepping on Nick's neck.
You're mean.
That time it was intentional.
Three wood better than 2 points? No, tree wood doesn't do anything for me. So I'd probably just plow a field. No one can take reno from me. No one can take fence from me. Is the vote still true?
That is correct. Randy can't fence until he gets at least 2 more wood.
Right.
Yeah, and you have no wood and nothing that gives you free stuff or anything. So I'm just going to plow a field for 2 points.
This game's super tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, my screen is a little, but hopefully it comes back up. My internet gets flaky sometimes.
I guess grain is 2 points for me, right?
Oh, because you're going to sow later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have an infinity of 2-point actions, and I don't see ways to do better. Yeah, I guess I'm going to take a grain.
Okay. I'll take a vegetable as I think it's the only thing left that's worth any points for me. Double check. Yeah. Take a vegetable. So Nick,
Okay, I'm going to build some fences.
God, this game, I would be so crushing you guys if I didn't give 5 points to both John and Shadow. Holy shit.
That is true. That is very true.
I would totally have this game. If I just draft 3 wood instead of playing a constable, I'm a million miles ahead. Ugh, wow.
That's right. John helped me and you out earlier by building his room with the first action instead of doing it second action. So he built his first action, and Nick then had a family grow, meaning that they both lost actions there, and you and I got first and second pick instead of them.
Sure. I don't think I have any disruptive actions, right? If I
The
take,
only person left is Nick, and he's renovating. It's really hard to disrupt that.
yeah, I mean, read is just easier than futzing around with boar.
Holy cow, nothing like a bajillion frames.
Yeah, you're stuttering too.
So 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10.
I blame the snow.
All right, so if I take read, I wind up with 3 read points. If I don't take read, I wind up with 1 read point. So that's 2 points. I guess boar is the same. Like, I have to eat a point. I could either eat a cow or a veggie, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Did not run out of 2-point actions. Do I actually win this? I mean, I still have a plow sow, and I only have to eat 1 point.
So I'm going to get 2 points in the final harvest. So I'll be at 45. That's what you have to beat.
I ran out of Dovecote.
And Nick ends at 40,
Wow.
42.
Super close.
Yeah.
And I get to eat a boar to survive on. Because my boars will breed again.
I get 47. Wow.
On hard mode after throwing 5 points to people.
There you
Indeed.
go. That'll do it.
Well, sure. That's because he had like Field Warden and like Mansion. Don't like his cards are so good. Why he thought Constable was going to come into play?
That's 2 cards, by the way, that were good.
What? Mansion, Stonecutter, Field Warden,
Okay,
Clogs. Considering the other shit you had going on, no.
So I threw Field Warden at him because it was in the same pack as Charcoal.
Tell me what occupation is my first pick occupation, Randy. That's right. It was Water Carrier.
I didn't even play my first pick occupation.
Wow. Close game. Yeah, hard mode. God, this game is so deep. It's so awesome and so infuriating and so painful and so great.
To you, Nick.
I eat a vegetable, and a pig. Finally adding some bacon to our tomato sandwiches.
Thanks, Kyler. The chat says great game and sweet stream. I agree.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was fun.
Huh.
Yeah,
Very
I got
happy
to
with
42.
I'm happy with a 45 in this.
Last again.
God, 47 missing the constable and missing on fencing. 3 clay and 2 wood left over. Boy, what the hell was I thinking with constable?
I don't know.
I've just like stone house extension, stone hut extension, stone cutter with stone hut extension and mansion.
Yeah, and you're like Constable. That's my game. Constable.
Dope. Good game.
Good.
Good
Game.
guys. Thanks for playing.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. I think we are done with the stream. See you guys next time.